Think about how you choose a place to live today. You look for a good job, you look for good roads, you want stores nearby, and you want to feel safe, right? This is exactly how we live right now. It builds our modern lives and our massive cities. But here is something really surprising. We think this way of choosing a home is a brand new idea. Well, the rules for finding a home have not changed in 5,000 years. 5,000 years ago, people looked for the exact same things. Sure, they didn't have cars, they didn't have modern grocery stores, but they absolutely needed food. They needed fresh water to drink, and they needed safe roads to travel. The basic rules for human survival are exactly the same today. So this brings us to the big question for this explainer. Why do some communities become massive empires? Why do some groups build huge armies, make huge buildings, and rule the world? And why do other groups just stay as small, quiet villages forever? What is the secret difference here? Here is the short answer. It all comes down to the land and the roads. The earth under your feet decides your future. The dirt and the water shape your life. Let's dive right into this and look at 3 real examples from the ancient world. Section 1. Water makes a village. Let's travel to the Hiraide ruins in ancient Japan. A very long time ago, 116 houses stood together right here. Now, this was a massive number of people for that time. Most groups only had a few houses. So why did so many people choose to live close together in this one exact spot? Well, they found something incredibly valuable on that specific piece of land. The answer is water. They lived right next to the Hiraide spring. This spring provides a steady, endless flow of clear water. The water stays at exactly 10 degrees Celsius all year long. It never turns to ice, even in the freezing cold winter. It is always there for the people. And this simple fact changed their entire way of life. Think of it like this. A permanent water spring is like a 24-hour grocery store. You can go there anytime, it gives you fresh water to drink, it attracts wild animals that you can hunt and eat, and it gives you a clean place to wash. Because they had this perfect water, they didn't have to move. They stayed in one safe place for thousands of years. Now, I have a clear opinion about this. A peaceful village is a successful society. These people didn't build big cities, they didn't fight big wars, but they stayed small, quiet, and happy for a very long time. They had everything they needed right from the earth. I think that is a huge success. You really don't need to conquer the world to have a good life. Section 2. Farming builds an empire. Let's look at ancient China. In Japan at this time, people lived closely with nature. They used simple stone tools, they hunted wild animals and gathered wild nuts from the forest. But in China, the land was very different. The land was flat and wide, so people started to farm the dirt. They grew plants like rice and millet in huge fields, and soon they had rich leaders and powerful kings. The crucial point here is this: farming is like a powerful engine. When you hunt for wild food, you only find enough to eat today. You consume it immediately. But plants on a farm produce extra food. You can save it for tomorrow. You can store it in pots for the cold winter. This extra food powers the engine of a huge society. Let's see how this works step by step. First, you grow extra food on your flat land. Second, some people take this extra food and become rich leaders. They don't have to work in the dirt anymore. Third, these leaders use their extra food and wealth to pay other men to fight. They build big armies. The simple engine of farming creates social classes, strong soldiers, and eventually a massive empire. Section 3. Roads bring new tools. Let's talk about ancient trade routes. Let's look at the Shang Dynasty in ancient China. Suddenly, incredible new items just appeared in their world. They had sharp, strong bronze weapons for their soldiers. They had fast chariots pulled by strong horses. They grew new foods like wheat in their huge fields. But these things were not there before. They did not invent them. So where did they come from? Well, new tools came from far away. Scientists actually tested the bronze metal found in ancient China, and they found a big surprise. The metal matches rocks from Africa and the Middle East. It didn't come from the ground in China. It traveled across tall mountains and wide, dry deserts to get there. It literally moved across the earth piece by piece. Think about it like this. Ancient trade routes were like the early internet. Today, the internet moves information across the world in 1 second. Back then, long physical roads moved heavy tools and new ideas across the world. It took many years, sure, but it connected different groups of people. It allowed distant empires to share their strongest inventions. And we have physical proof that this is true. Scientists found ancient dead bodies buried deep in the dry desert in Asia. These people had light hair and tall bodies. They originally came from the far west. Humans literally walked across thousands of miles of rough land, and they brought their strong bronze and fast horses with them to these new empires. Section 4, the final answer. Let's talk about geography and fate. Let's return to our main question from the beginning of this explainer. Why do some communities become massive empires? Why do some build huge armies and conquer the world, while others live quietly in a small village? Well, we have seen the water in Japan, the big farms in China, and the long roads across the world. The direct answer is right here. Geography decides our fate. The physical world makes the choice for us. Good, steady water allows you to stay in one safe place. Flat land allows you to grow extra food and pay for a massive army. Long, clear roads connect you to powerful new tools from far away. The earth provides the power. And this leaves us with one final short message to remember. The land you stand on shapes the future you build. Look at the ground outside your home today. Think about the roads near your house. How is that land shaping your future right now? Thank you so much for watching this explainer. Keep asking questions, and I will see you next time.